Starting off with the classic pump shotgun in every creative map, there's one shotgun guaranteed to be in, and that's the pump shotgun for clear reasons. The pump one-shots and blow upwards without shield, does 128 damage to the body, in gold does 125 for a headshot at max. Despite all this, however, its pull-out time is quite slow compared to other contenders for the best shotgun. There are 433 millisecond pull-out time, which makes the weapon less useful for riskier plays. Overall, that and lower structural damage makes it an A tier shotgun, not an S tier. Although 2 years ago, truthfully, this would be an S tier shotgun. Onto its OG rival, the tactical shotgun. Now, I personally dislike the TAC. Now, this sets the standard for all TACs, which all have a 500 millisecond pull-out time. Being slower than the pump, it does have a lower damage and much faster fire rate. However, in epic and legendary, it two-shots a wooden wall fully built, making it very powerful for box fighting, as you only need to have the shotgun out and just shoot the wall with your crosshair on the player, making it a more viable option for wall-to-wall fighting than the pump shotgun is. However, despite this, its inconsistent damage because of how wide the reticle is to players makes it B tier in my opinion instead of A tier or S tier. Onto the heavy shotgun, which is just a much worse pump shotgun. It does lower damage than the pump, but has a slightly higher magazine size of 7 compared to the pump shotgun's 5. Although, in the original chapter of Fortnite, it could do 300 headshot damage, so there's that, but given now, it's not exactly viable as it can't do anywhere near that. Despite this, the shotgun is very inconsistent, which in my opinion makes it C tier shotgun, because it's basically, you take the bad from the pump, and then you take the bad from the TAC, and you put them together, and then you just give it an awkward magazine size of 7. Onto the combat shotgun, which was overpowered on release, however now it is very bad and not viable at all. With its lower damage and a hybrid of pump action and tactical shotgun gameplay, with none of the benefits, it isn't worth even using in the Megalodon's Mythic, which came out in chapter 5, meaning this is a low C tier shotgun. We also have the double barrel, which is only good from up close with high damage, however unless you can't phase in for whatever reason, whether that be you don't know phase tricks or you just got really bad ping, it isn't worth taking, making this a D tier shotgun. Now, closing off chapter 1 shotguns, we have the drum shotgun. Now this thing is awful, it's basically the prototype for the primal shotgun, which we'll get to soon, but isn't good at anything. I don't think a single player ever considers picking up this gun. Like, nobody. Not even like players who are sentimental towards chapter 1 or really bad at the game. I've not seen anyone pick this gun up in eons, making this an F tier weapon. On to chapter 2 shotguns, where we have to go across to the second worst season in the chapter to find the gun I used to hate but now really like. The charge shotgun has a 400 millisecond pull-out time, beating the pump in that regard. It does very high damage to the body and fully charged, shown on screen, beating the pump. It can also 200 pump in gold and mythic when fully charged, making this the best shotgun so far. However, its drawback is the time that it takes to fully charge, telegraphing that you are going to shoot, along with the pull-out time. Despite this, I think it's worth picking up and creates an interesting skill gap, making this my first S tier shotgun. I also had it in my perfect meta video, but you should check it out after watching this video. We ain't getting a good one for a while. On to chapter 2 season 5, we have the 2 shotguns here. First, the lever action pump shotgun that has a 466 millisecond pull-out time, making it the slowest pump shotgun so far. It also has a falling damage on screen, but playing with it and the widest pellet spread known to mankind makes this shotgun only good in the eyes of Mickey 30. This shotgun is objectively D tier. Now in the same season we have the Dragon's Breath shotgun. Now this shotgun would do 144 damage and give a fire effect that wasn't in competitive since fire is disabled. Despite all these upsides, it only has one shot as it uses all the pellets to shoot one shot, making this a shotgun where you need to hit your shot, otherwise you're cooked since it takes so long to reload. Overall, this shotgun is a B tier shotgun if you can land your shots with it. Now the last shotgun of chapter 2, because I'm not counting the makeshift shotgun because that's F tier. The primal shotgun, where this gun is another case of overpowered on release, then gets heavily nerfed. On release this is such a good shotgun. Now the shotgun is kind of mid with the lackluster damage and being a burst, making the shotgun feel awkward and play awkward. It's also easy to counter with the drastic improvement that 5 years players have gotten. Overall, this is a C tier shotgun that was a brilliant on release, being overpowered A tier, debatably S tier, one nerf, cooked. Now on to chapter 3, where we have a brand new pump shotgun and a new tactical one. The striker pump is essentially the pump but worse in every way you can think of. Less damage, slower fire rate, like it needed it. Overall, you would never pick this shotgun up, and the fact that it was in a spray meta with the MK7 and the Stinger SMG says everything. B tier. Now the auto shotgun is some hot garbage. Attack, but worse in every single way. Think the whole of chapter 3 might have just been ripping off past weapons. Of these new ones, apart from the MK, overall, this gun is a low C tier. Now the Ranger shotgun is actually unironically the best shotgun in chapter 3. One shot, 100% accuracy when aiming, a ton of damage, and doesn't reload so slow that you can make 2 slices of toast, butter it and eat it before coming back. However, if you miss, there's no downside because of just how quick the reload is. It's better than the Dragon Spray. Overall, this shotgun is actually really good, and I would have it A+, because of just how quick the reload time is on it, making it feel like it's an infinite magazine until you just run out of shotgun pellets. But you probably won't, because I would hope that you'll be able to hit your shots. Now the 2-shot shotgun is kinda irrelevant, fastest pull-out time of any shotgun, but as a burst shotgun, that isn't great for fighting, and no one will ever use this. It's D tier. The Vibin also introduced us to the Prime shotgun. Essentially, it hits for its max damage on the first shot, and is slightly lower for the rest. I find this to be a really interesting mechanic, with the damage shown on screen. I actually think this shotgun is low A tier, with its standard pump action gameplay, and the thrust that makes you try harder to get a little bit extra damage by landing the first shot. Now the last shotgun of chapter 3, we have an interesting idea executed poorly. The Evil Chrome shotgun was one where you had to upgrade it only by doing damage, forcing players to fight each other to get a better weapon. However, this weapon hardly did any damage because of the reticle. The worst reticle in history ever made, and no, we will not be seeing this for the last time. Overall, this shotgun has so much full potential, and with the stats shown on screen, I have to put it in C tier. I've got no other choice. Now on to chapter 4, we have the worst chapter for many reasons, and the shotguns do not help. The heisted weapons were good, but since I didn't get any footage of them, this is their rankings, as they're alright, but it's not worthy of being picked up over others already mentioned. The auto shotgun is the worst automatic shotgun ever added to the game. Its inconsistent damage, that's slower than its predecessors, makes it not even viable in any regard. With a lower magazine size, not even good structural damage, it's so inconsistent. Overall, this is a D tier weapon at best. I'm surprised I didn't put it at F. The Thunder shotgun is not much better, however. The slowest pull-out time of any pump shotgun, the weird reticle that makes you better with literally any other shotgun after switching, as shown in the Simpsons season, transitioning to chapter 7 season 1. Yeah, this isn't great. The damage to players and structures aren't good. You also have the longest reload time, and it only shoots 2 sets of pellets at a time, meaning you only have 4 shots. I don't know why I said only. However, this is a C tier shotgun and was only used in the Simpsons season because of its playstyle and the context of the meta being that there was no other pump action shotgun. Now the next season we finally get a shotgun contending for the best. Oh wait, never mind. The Havoc pump shotgun has an insane damage as shown on screen, being able to almost remove 150 damage with 1 body shot. However, it is also able to 200 pump in Mythic only. It also has an extra shot from the pump shotgun. So what's the problem? The horrendous pull-out time. This makes the shotgun no longer S tier, and so it's A tier, just because of the pull-out time, holding this thing back so much. Now in season 3, we got the Sharptooth, aka the Timu pump shotgun. This lazy knockoff has more range but significantly less damage and 1 less shot than the pump shotgun, making this at best B tier. And the last shotgun added in chapter 4 was the Infiltrator pump shotgun, which isn't great either, nothing special about it. We are given this C tier. Now in chapter 5 we have 2 shotguns added in the first season. The first is the Frenzy Auto. This shotgun would just be spammed by whoever used it, and was so painful to play against that no one liked it. No skill, good reward, and was made even worse with the drum mag attachment that for some reason you could put on it. The Hammer Pump, however, was probably the best pump shotgun in terms of balance at the point of its release, with a very large reward for its headshot but lower end body shot damage. These shotguns were alright, and I put both of them in A tier. Now in chapter 5, season 2, we have the worst balance of a shotgun ever. The Gatekeeper is the most mind-numbing shotgun imaginable, known to mankind. High damage, fast fire rate, and a low magazine size, countered by, again, another drum mag. Absolutely nobody wants this gun in the loot pool, and it amazes me how this was a shotgun meta for 3 seasons. It is an S tier shotgun, but it is not balanced. Now on to Sovereign Shotgun. Now this shotgun, you had to aim for the upper torso, otherwise you wouldn't do much damage with this, making it a high skill, high reward shotgun, which content creators like Cypher PK absolutely hated. Blurring the lines between pump action and tactical gameplay. Like the combat and many others before, I put this in high B tier. Now on to chapter 6, where there is millions of shotguns. Now I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm making this quick. Sentinel Pump is S tier of high body damage and 200 damage to the head, with 300 millisecond payload time and high structure damage to aid this. The twin fire shotgun is inadequate with no great qualities at all, making it C tier. The only shotgun is like the double barrel with a combat damage, making it not great a shotgun to use, B tier. The Outlaw replaced the Oni in season 2 and it's just a better version in terms of damage but shorter range, making it a late game weapon, so it's B tier as well. Slap twin fire is just the legendary twin fire of permanent sprint when using it, so it's B tier as it's good for rotates. In season 3 we got the Frostfire Sentinel Pump, giving the player a slowness effect or making you faster, making this an A tier weapon since you can't one shot however. We also got the Young Shotgun, which is just another Outlaw but builds the player 2, second shot does more damage, making it A tier in my opinion. We also had the Sweeper Shotgun, which had some reticule that the Evil Chrome had with no damage benefit, making it C tier. Then in season 4 we got double trouble shotguns. These essentially gave you 200 pump and can switch between them with no delays, letting you double pump. You also got Siphon when landing hits as well, making these S tier but does take up 2 inventory slots. Whew! During chapter 7 so far we have 2 shotguns, the twin hammer pumps and the iron pump, which both of these are really good. The iron pump is S tier and allows 200 pumping gold, with a bit less damage from the Sentinel to players and structures and slightly slower pull-out time. The twin hammer pumps are also really good as tactical shotguns with 10 shots. In my opinion it's A tier because of my playstyle and builds, but I would say it's close to being S tier as well, and it just depends on your playstyle. So what is the worst and the best shotgun? Well, the worst shotgun is of course the drum shotgun. What is the best shotgun? That in my opinion personally is the iron pump in terms of balance, but raw power would be the Sentinel pump. Thanks for watching. This was torture to make, so please subscribe and check out my perfect meta video in the description below. Goodbye.